Howdy folks, this is Alberto here. Don't mind my pajamas and my messy room. I'm just making this video to keep my promise. I said I would make a tutorial video for my newest video, Smoke on the Water, Play it on the Water, and Underwater. I would make it if someone found my nipple frame, my glorious nipple frame. And Luciano V3 and Gasper Gray found it. Kudos to you guys, congrats. And yeah, my glorious nipple and recently shaved myocarditis chest have made me make this video, so here it is. So let's get to it. I'm gonna try to be as fast as I can, not to bore you guys. So let's start with the recording process. Basically what I did to record this video, I used two GoPros, one for the video and one just for the audio. The reason I did that is because the video one is further away to get the full frame, so then to get the best signal to noise ratio on the audio, I just have the other GoPro be as close as I can to it, and of course not damage it with the water and stuff. So that's how I did the recording. And the only thing that I had to replace afterwards was the acapella part, because yeah, the percussive stuff is easier to get a clean sound because it's just one sound and then you can loop the good sound for everything else. And the acapella is harder because I have to sing for a while and you can't just loop it. And it was hard because I recorded in a really noisy environment. It was right next to a children's school, so the kids were being really noisy when I was recording the acapella, and they sounded better than I did actually, so maybe I should have just left it. But anyways, the acapella was the only thing I replaced. Everything else was the GoPro audio. And basically what I did after that, I just brought the audio from the GoPro into Pro Tools. For this video, the tutorial video, I just brought the audio from the GoPro I used to record video with. So it means it's more ambient-y, but I was lazy to find the other audio, but it's good enough for us to just get an idea of how I do the editing. So basically I just use tap to transient to cut right at the sound where it starts, and then like on grid mode I just place stuff on the grid where I want it to be. I cut it to make it like to take some of the water splash out so it's not like rumbly, and then it like I had an idea. I knew exactly what I wanted to do music wise before I did the editing, so it was easy enough to just like copy and paste stuff into place, and then group it, Command Option G, and then loop it, and that's it. So it's super fast if you have an idea of what you're doing beforehand. Let me show you guys the spaghetti snare with it. I'm just gonna make a quick groove so you guys see how I literally did my process. I don't know if the spaghetti thing I'm talking about is that thing that I used to hit on the floor that people swim with, I guess. I don't know how you call that in English. In Portuguese we call it spaghetti because it looks like a giant spaghetti, but it's a weird name, I think. I don't know if that's the name in English, probably not. But anyways, I just made a quick reggaeton groove here for you guys to check out. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's my editing process. Let's delete that. So for the mixing process, people probably think that I did like a huge thing as well. I did a lot of processing, but I tried to keep, you know, that vintage swimming pool sound. Like back in the day, they didn't have stuff in the box like they did, and with swimming pools just sounded like swimming pools, you know. So I try to keep that. So I didn't do much processing, as you can see here. I put a little bit of reverb on the hand sound, the kind of thing, the hi-hat spaghetti, and of course the acapella. But everything else is completely dry. And the only thing that I like EQ'd and compressed was like the splashes. And of course, like I mastered everything, so everything was compressed as a bus, and the sub master is here. But let me just go over these that I did the actual processing on. So the kick splash, basically what I did is just one EQ that adds, like I just swept through the frequencies until I heard the frequency that made it sound more like a kick drum. And I'll show you guys how it sounds with and without the EQ. I did 14 dB on 106 hertz. That's with the EQ and without. So yeah, it makes a huge difference even though it's like just one EQ. And then for the snare splash, I did an EQ as well, but I also did an expander to make sure because I left the water noise from after I fell with my belly, which actually hurt a lot. I left that splash happening, so I just put the expander to make it lower through the hit. So the EQ on the snare, I just took the low end I took it out since the splashes there, it would fight the kick a lot, so I just cut that out, and I boosted 7 dB of 600 Hertz to make like a little bit more of a pop on the snare. So here's with the EQ right now. Oh, I just can't speak. Here's with the EQ. Now here's without. So it's also a big difference. And then here's the gate. Here's what I did for the gate. So pretty much every time it gets past this threshold, this gate, no, it's not a gate, it's an expander, I'm sorry. It jumps in and it lowers the volume. So that's it. That's for that. And then the hi-hat, I also did a simple EQ. I just cut the low end and I boosted frequencies that I wanted to highlight. Here's with the EQ, and here's without. So yeah, this was a difficult sound to get, like to get it completely clean because it's quieter than everything else. So that's why I had to cut so much low end on it. And I mean, it's a hi-hat. We don't need a whole lot of low end anyways. And I was really surprised with the spaghetti sounds because I didn't have to do any processing to them at all to get a good sound. So the kick, it was just like one spaghetti against the other. It has a nice thump to it with no EQ at all. There is that. And then the snare spaghetti I already showed you guys. There it is. And then the hi-hat is like just friction between the spaghettis. I doubled it for a section just to make sure I get that chorusy wide double performance effect. And then like for the swimming pool stairs with the drumsticks, I didn't do anything either. Nothing for the hand blowing thing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the mixing. I did some mastering on it on Logic afterwards. I exported it from Pro Tools, and so I'm not gonna show any of that, but if you guys have any questions about that, I'm more than happy to talk about that as well. As a matter of fact, if you have any questions about anything of my videos, of my mixing, of my composing, of my performing, of my video editing, anything, please feel free to shoot me comments or whatever, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have, and make more tutorials or whatever.